Good morning, guys. Evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome back to the channel of Billy Talks Ball. Now, today, as you can see to the right of me, I have a great friend of mine, Tabrice. He is a Liverpool fan. And today, we are going to be talking about the Chelsea v Liverpool game that is coming up. Now, first off, Tabrice, thank you for coming on the channel.
Thank you for inviting me. Please like and subscribe to Billy Talk Sport.
Now, I'm going to leave Tabrice's channel, link to his channel in the description below. So you can look at all his stuff. He does great stuff with Sunday League mostly, but he does have a starting 11 football show as well that I am on. We have me, Tabrice, Michelle as well, and we talk we have some pretty controversial debates on there sometimes, don't we?
100%. But let's kind of part that aside. Let's talk about Chelsea, Liverpool, the clash of the mid-table teams.
Now, first I want to talk about Liverpool's poor run of games leading up. We're only going to talk about the past 3 games.
Okay.
As we can see on the screen now, Liverpool beat Leicester. They beat them 2-1. Remember that game? It was 2 own goals from Leicester.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that game?
Well, I knew that you was going to put that in. Yeah, Liverpool won, but it was 2 own goals. We were very lucky to actually get a result. We played okay, but Leicester had chances, and I think there's a growing pattern here. If you can look at a lot of our results, that we always concede first, and that's been an issue this season. But no, it was a win.
Yeah. Second game I want to talk about is the Brentford-Liverpool game. How was your feelings on that? 3-1 Brentford. It's a very difficult result to take away from that. So how did you feel after the Brentford game?
I think everyone knew. Well, I think everyone knows how Brentford play, and Liverpool were just not prepared. And again, fully deserved Brentford winning. I think what was very telling was how Andy Robertson came on, took the captain's armband, and he seemed to gather the troops after we conceded a goal. So I think the players know that there's something not clicking, and literally having that conversation visible, just really kind of confirms everything that a lot of people were thinking. But again, fair play to like Brentford.
And then moving on to the next game, it was Brighton 3, Liverpool 0. Another poor game, conceding 3 goals. Look, to be fair to Brighton, they're smashing it. They beat Chelsea already this season. They've beaten other teams as well. They're climbing up the table. Do you know what I mean? They're what, 6th, I think? 7th in the league. So they're doing very well this season. What was your feelings on the game after that as well?
Fair play to Brighton. Let's not think that Brighton are a relegation team. Like they are a fully established Premiership outfit. With a great structure, and again, they deserve to beat Liverpool. Could have been by a lot more. What was telling, because I don't really want to talk about the performance, but what was telling, Klopp said it was probably the worst game he's seen. Well, not ever, but definitely as Liverpool manager. Yeah. And if you don't do the basics right, you will get beat. No matter what the tactics are, it doesn't matter what players that you have. If you don't do the basics right, you will lose 90% of the games. And again, we got found out.
Yeah. Moving on to Chelsea's run of games now. First game, it was 1-0 to Man City against Chelsea. It's one of them games. Man City are always going to come out of the gates and they're always going to play well. I feel the game we played against them in the cup, it was or was it this game and then we played them in the cup? It was this game that we played well. So we had high hopes going into the cup game. We also played poor against that. Moving into the Fulham game, 2-1. Fair play to Fulham. They're cementing themselves back in the Premier League as well. But just an awful game from our defence mostly. They just managed to break us down so easily. Chalobah poor, Koulibaly poor, Azpilicueta poor. The whole back line was poor. And I think overall that it's just one of them games that we got to look past and try and move forward. We then go into the Chelsea Palace game. We win 1-0. We got quite lucky, if I'm honest. There was a lot of times where Crystal Palace broke through and managed to get some terrific shots off. And Kepa, fair play to him. If he did it more consistently, he'd be rated up there top 3 keepers in the Premier League. If he just played that sort of game consistently. But I think that's the biggest problem with Kepa. But yeah, both having some poor performances. We're coming off the back of a win against Palace, obviously proving themselves and beating Man United, drawing with Man United 1-0 as well. But yeah, we can only look towards this game. Moving on, we're going to be discussing our lineups and what we think we should start. Liverpool, we're going to start with Tabrice in Liverpool first. This is the team that he selected. Take it away, Tabrice. Tell me why you picked the team.
So we played Wolves midweek in the FA Cup, and it was a 1-0 win. And what I liked about the team, it just showed a bit more desire and energy. And I kind of want to give those players that played against Wolves an opportunity. However, like the back four for me has to stay the same. Or sorry, back five with Becker in goal. Becker has had, a couple of games where he's been a little bit shaky, but he's still a quality keeper. Every player, has a dip in form, and it's just the fact that he has dipped. However, Becker is Becker. You've literally got to have him. The back four, you can't really talk really. Trent, Kanate, Matip, and Robbo. I've got 3 in the midfield, so I've got Fab at the base. Yes, it looks like his like legs are gone, but he can still dictate play. And I think if he's in the right position, he will break up a lot of Chelsea's counter attacks. That's how I feel. I've got Thiago and Keita. Thiago, yes, he also can play as the deep line midfielder, but I think he can also do the kind of box to box stuff as well. And I want to make him captain. He has amazing ability. And just kind of looking at the whole team in general, I think he's the most influential player. If he plays well, then I believe Liverpool will get a result. Keita, I've literally got my issues with him. Yes, he's not going to sign like a new deal, so like it looks like he's going in the summer, which is a shame. We haven't seen like the best of him. Injuries, and there's probably other stuff that's kind of gone on behind the scenes. Hence the reason why he's not signing. But he played well against Wolves. So if you play well and the team wins, then you deserve to hold on to that shirt. I've got Elliott and Carvalho on either wing. Again, Elliott's goal against Wolves, it was a great strike. A lot of energy, a lot of creativity. It's just something that now, as a Liverpool fan, I am used to and literally what I want. And Salah right now has not been cut in the mustard. Yeah. Carvalho, yes, he's kind of come in. He's like still new to the Premier League. Yes, we bought him on potential, but again, against Wolves, he did well. We have to give the next generation an opportunity, and why not have this opportunity against a very good and also a team in transition like Chelsea? So I think that's it's a kind of great way to actually see if he can sink or swim. And Gakpo, he's like still finding his feet. But again, against Wolves, he was at least he was kind of always, well, he was very industrial. Creating chances. At least shooting on sight. And again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I would prefer those 3 up front.
Yeah. Couple questions with that lineup. Where is Van Dijk injured or is he
Van Dijk's got injury, hamstring.
right? And Salah, is he injured or are you just leaving
Salah's
him
not
out?
injured. Salah's not injured. I'm just leaving him out. He's really had a poor run of games. About four like games that's kind of been really bad. Against Brighton, it was awful to watch.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be picked because of your name. Yes, you are allowed a couple of bad games, but he's just not been performing. And we have to let someone that's like performed well in his position. Well, I'm not gonna say in his position, in Liverpool's position,
Yeah.
to literally say, okay, now it's time for you to book up your ideas in training to get me off the pitch. And there's no bigger statement than Salah being on the bench against his former club, Chelsea. And again, no matter what people think of Chelsea, Chelsea are still a big club. We have an amazing history, an amazing rivalry as well. So yeah, no, literally he kind of literally has to stay on the bench for me.
And moving on from your lineup, you have I have selected this Chelsea team. Some youngsters in there that might have some questions. Firstly, Koulibaly for me is not getting in that lineup. I'd have Badiashile at the back with Thiago Silva. Kepa speaks for himself after the performance against Palace. I'd go with James and Chilwell. Obviously, both injured, but they are back in full training and not sure
That's a
if
bit of
they're
a
going to make it to the game. If they are, then that's why they're there. But if they're not, I'd have Azpilicueta at right back, and then I'd have Cucurella at left back. Yeah, Badiashile and Thiago Silva in the middle. We saw them play with each other against Palace, and Badiashile did look a bit shaky at the start, but first time in the Premier League, young player as well, only 21, 22, left-footed centre-back, which is what we need. I think he could seriously be the future of Chelsea Football Club if he carries on with the way his potential is looking. The midfield three, I'd go Jorginho, Chukwa, and Kovacic. I think Kovacic speaks for himself. I think he's been one of our best players this season. Jorginho as well. It's difficult with Jorginho. I think he's too slow now. I think that he just isn't what we need at the club. But with Kante out, Zakaria out in that midfield defensive sort of role, Jorginho is good with passing the ball and picking up the loose ball. Chukwa as well. He came on against City, and I thought he was one of our most exciting players on the pitch. He's young, hungry, looks like he wants to keep driving the ball forward, and that's why I've gone with him. Hall on the left. I know he's a left back or a left wing back, but I want to see him at the left wing position. I feel with the defensive cover of Cucurella or Chilwell there, I think that we could see Hall used in a different way that could benefit us, especially with how we're sort of running out of wingers at the minute. We have just signed a couple of players as well. Ziyech on the right, I think, say what you want about Ziyech. Has he performed for us? No, he has been a dreadful signing. But after that Morocco performance in the World Cup, I do think that we need to start looking at either trying to sell him or try and use him in a way that could benefit him. And it's one of the two. I can understand that he's probably being transfer listed and probably being looked at to be moved on. But for now, we've still got him at the club and we need to use him. Up front, I've gone with Fofana as well. Another young, exciting player who I think with the pace, he is rapid. And the pace, I can imagine him going straight past Matip whilst he's trying to figure out how to use his legs. And I can see serious competition going on there. We've missed out the likes of Aubameyang, Mount, Havertz, Pulisic and Sterling are injured, so it's very difficult on our wingers at the minute. We may be seeing Mudryk start against Liverpool tomorrow, but overall, if he's not, this is probably the formation and the setup I would go for. So, Brees, have you got any questions about my team?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bold team. I mean, you've got your two fullbacks who have been out with long injuries. Don't you think it's a huge risk putting them against like a Liverpool team that on their day can run fullbacks ragged?
It all depends on Potter's tactics and whether they are back to fully fit. They are back to training, so I'm hoping, I am fingers crossed that they are fully fit and back ready to play. But if they're not, then I will accept having Azpilicueta and Cucurella at the back in the back fullbacks instead. I think any fullbacks in the Premier League are going to struggle against the. With Liverpool, they have the potential to completely decimate the fullbacks. They have that potential to do that, and on their day, like you've just said, they can tear apart defenses and they can tear apart fullbacks. So I think any fullback should be looking worried and or scared. But yeah, ultimately, if they're back, then I still want to see them play because I think Chilwell and James are our most important players because the style of play that we play and the what we focus on, the width and trying to push forward with Potter's tactics, I think James and Chilwell are the perfect examples of what we need. So if we are looking to play that style of play, I think James and Chilwell need to be in it. But if they're not back fully fit, then I would have to say Aspie and Cucurella.
And is it Ryan Hall?
Lewis, I believe.
Yeah, Lewis Hall. I mean, that's a bold decision there to actually put him in a kind of offensive position. Why have you put him there?
As a defender, the size and the build of him, he is good. He is a good squad player, someone who can be used very well. But with Cucurella there and potentially Chilwell now coming back to full training as well, I don't see him getting a sniff. And I think that we could try and look to use him in a attacking position because with his agility and even when he is playing left back, we can see him trying to skill past players when he's left back. If he has that at the top end of the pitch in the final third, that's when it could be used well. And if he makes a mistake there, that's understandable. But he can't be making them mistakes in the defence. So I think moving him higher up is going to be a better solution.
And regarding your kind of midfield trio, there was no mention of Loftus-Cheek. What is your opinion about him, and do you think he has a future at Chelsea?
I don't think so. I genuinely believe that Chelsea Football Club need to get rid of Loftus-Cheek. I think he's been injured too many times. I think the injuries have killed his career to what potential we were looking at. And I think overall he's not a Chelsea player anymore. I don't even think of him. I think of Conor Gallagher. Maybe he could have got in. But overall, Loftus-Cheek for me is just not good enough. Not the level we need in that midfield three, or even on the right mid that he's played before. And lastly, to Brice, your score predictions for tomorrow.
Billy, I would love to kind of go into this game confident. And again, I have to be respectful of the teams above Chelsea and Liverpool. And I think, I don't know if you would agree, but both of our forms have not been great.
Yeah.
It's a tough, it's a toss of a coin. A draw. Let's say a draw. 2-2 draw. But I mean, if like Chelsea win, I wouldn't be surprised. If Liverpool win, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, there's none of the teams are in form, so it's just hard to even pick.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions being asked at Chelsea about whether Mudryk is going to be playing. Mudryk is a player who, as you've seen on my channel, I've ranted about, and I was fuming that we signed him, not because of the player he is, because I think he is a good player, but he is young and he's not the level we need yet. I understand signing him and I understand him potentially coming in, but overall, I think that our attack as a whole just isn't good enough. The chances we create are good, but the final product that Chelsea Football Club have at the minute is just lackluster. We can't seem to finish anything properly, and I think that the technique that we're using, everything like that with the finishing in the final third just is poor. So I can't see us. I can't see us scoring, but also I can't see Liverpool, with the way they're performing, turn up and give Chelsea a good game. I think it will be, when I say good game, I mean I don't see Liverpool turning up and performing better than Chelsea. I think we're both, like you said very well to Brees, that we're both playing poor at the minute, not really scoring loads of goals, conceding quite a bit as well. And I think that overall, I'm probably going to have to go with maybe a 1-1 draw, a 2-2 draw. I'm not looking confident. I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm not confident in the game because I'm really not sure. Like you said, it's a toss of a coin. Could be anything. So that is all today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Let us know your score predictions down below. Let us know what you think the score is going to be. And don't forget to turn the notification bell on so you are aware when I do post.
One thing I'd like to say, which I can categorically say will happen, Liverpool will finish above Chelsea.
Yes. I think that Chelsea will be lucky to get a sniff at top 6, whereas I think Liverpool still have the potential to make it to the top 6.
Wow, so, Billy, we actually agree. We actually agree on something.
I know, it's weird. Even on the Chelsea channel, my own, I need to be realistic. I need to be realistic, and I need to understand that we're going through a transitional period with the project that we've got going on. A lot of young players. Madueke's just signed for us. I will make a video on that very soon, so don't forget to make sure that you're aware when I do post. But yeah, Mudryk as well coming in. Fofana's very young. A lot of young players that we are. Even Andre Santos, a Brazilian midfielder that we've got in. A lot of young players, and I think that this transitional period, we need to accept that we will not be trying to push for top 4. Although Ted Bowley might want us to win every cup, it's not realistic with what signings we're trying to make. We're building a project and we're going through a transition, and that's what we need is time. So I do understand that you will finish above us, but overall, I think we'll come back and beat you again. So it's all good. Guys, don't forget to look in the description, and I will be posting to Brees's channel. You can see all his stuff. He talks about Sunday league football mostly, but he does have a show as well. He posts great content. And guys, don't forget to go over there, like and subscribe on his stuff as well. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. Take care.